I think the biggest reason is because you might hurt others, right? Other people's feelings with your words. Sometimes there are consequences, right? You just say things without thinking, and later it might come back and affect your life. Some people might take it seriously, even though you're just joking, but some people might take it seriously, and they think you are serious when you're not, and yeah, it can also lead to misunderstanding, and yeah, it can also affect relationships. It can make or break relationships. I think now I'm more careful about what I say. Now I'm trying to think before I say something. But maybe in the past I didn't think much before I said something. Of course, I have a lot of regrets about the things I said in the past. And being a teacher, it happens in the class, right? When you say something to your students with the intention of encouraging them, or maybe correcting their mistake, or in my case, I think most of the time I'm just trying to make people laugh. I'm just trying to make jokes, and sometimes they go wrong. Jokes go wrong, and yeah. In one of the movies of Harry Potter, there's a quote. I believe the quote is from Dumbledore, the headmaster, and he said about the power of words. Yeah, I don't remember the exact quote, but I think the meaning is words have the power to heal. They have the power to heal or to hurt people. I think that's why you should be careful of what you say, because they can make people feel very happy and like feel loved, or they can make them feel the exact opposite, right? Yeah, I think it's when I'm angry. I think it's true for most people, right? When they are angry, it's really hard to control what we want to say, and scientifically there are like two main parts of the brain. One of them is the emotional part, and the other is the wise part. And when you are angry, the reasonable part of your brain shuts down, and the dramatic part takes over. And yeah, you say things without thinking. Yeah, when you are angry. And personally, I have a lot of experiences of reacting with anger, and saying things that might hurt people. And yeah, I think that's why it's really important for everyone to manage their anger, in times of heat. That's really important. Yeah, most of the time it is. It's better to just stay silent, and I think it's more true when it comes to like just friends, so colleagues, or with your acquaintance. Yeah, just with acquaintances. I think it's better to just stay silent. But when it comes to your partner or your family, I think it's not healthy to stay silent. But you should be very careful about what you say. When you talk about your feelings, you should start with I feel. I feel, yeah. For example, I feel annoyed. Instead of you annoy me, you should say I feel annoyed. Yeah. You put your feelings first. So I think the reason is not to make it sound like you are blaming them, right? But just expressing your feelings. If you always stay silent, they will never know how you feel and what you don't like. And so I think it's important to communicate but yeah, you should learn how to, right? You should learn how to communicate effectively. Yeah, communication skills, they are essential for everyone, especially if you are thinking of getting married. Yeah. All right. I'm not an expert, right? I'm not an expert on like relationships and communication, but I think my best tip might be, yeah, go talk to people. Yeah, I think the best way to become better at something is practice, right? Nothing beats practice. So if you want to be better at controlling your emotions, and yeah, if you want to be better at communication, you should do it more. You should put yourself in those situations, like more often than now. Yeah, instead of avoiding people, instead of like staying alone, you should go and talk to people, like make new friends and make mistakes. Mistakes are the best teachers. So yeah, I mean, it's going to hard, right? You are going to regret, but I think this is the only way you grow in life. Yeah, just go out there and live, make mistakes, learn from them, and grow.